Welcome to Dubs Talk Live. I am Zena, Keita here at the Gatehouse at Thrive City at Chase Center, joined by Warriors Insider Authority on the Warriors, Monte Poole.
Wow, that's a heck of an introduction there.
It is, but I just didn't quite get the same enunciation that Festus gets.
Well,
Monte Poole.
Festus is one of a kind.
It's like he's like falling over a cliff. Monte. Anyways, something. I don't know what it is. But anywho, folks, Warriors got a big-time win. 119-107 over the 76ers.
Yes.
This is a dominant team in the East, and they came in here. The Warriors had just lost two heartbreaking clutch games against the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers, particularly that double overtime thriller against the Lakers. They needed to bounce back, and that is exactly what they did tonight, Monte.
Yeah, excuse me, yes, they did. I mean, it didn't hurt that the Sixers played last night in Portland and that they didn't have Tyrese Maxey, you know, one of their better players. But Joel Embiid played. Yeah. And he's an MVP caliber player, and he's reigning MVP and could win it again this year. So, but the Warriors tonight, they just, you know, I think when you saw that Klay Thompson was a late scratch, you're like, okay, who's going to pick up the scoring slack? Right. And Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga.
Man.
49 points for those two guys.
Unreal.
That's huge. That's huge. So that's a big deal.
It was surreal to look down the box score. 37 points for Steph Curry, which is expected.
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
But then to think that you have two 20-plus scores besides Stephen.
Yes.
That is something that the Warriors have been looking for all season. That's something that they've needed to be able to punctuate their offense, and it was beautiful to see that. But let's start with the guy that was doing the buckets, okay?
Number 30?
Number 30, because when the game started, Steph was not doing wonderfully. In the first half, he had 4 turnovers, had a little bit of buttery hands, had a little bit of bobbles, okay? The 49ers were in the building. I know they were not happy to see some of those things because it might have made them reminiscent of the first half.
They call them fumbles.
Fumbles, okay. But then something popped off in the third quarter. Monte, 15 points for Steph, and he started hitting shots in rhythm. He started finding opportunities at the basket. And not only that, folks, he was their top rebounder tonight. 8 rebounds plus 7 assists. Yeah. Monte, when you think about what Steph is doing, not only what he did against the Lakers with 36, now coming in 37, how much do you think this was a revenge game in himself? He ripped his jersey last night.
Yeah, because he was so upset the way they lost it. You know?
Yeah.
That's a game that they all believe they should have won, and they certainly could have won. And tonight, early on, there were times we thought, okay, do they even want to win this game? The way they're throwing the ball around, giving these guys easy points off turnovers. But at halftime, you know, Steph regrouped and came out in the second half and dropped 25 on them in the second half, 8 of 10 shooting. When you can score 25 points on 10 shots, you're cooking.
And that's why they call him Chef Curry for a reason.
Yeah.
Now,
6 of 8 from 3.
And remember that this is, I mean, he's had a game this season where he had 9 threes, 9 made threes, and he's capable of doing that. But what was so funny was it seemed to be that he was cooking, particularly after this travel call. And I don't know if you guys remember this in the third quarter. Steph comes down. Look at that back pivot foot, y'all. Just look at it dancing. Now, he gets called for the travel. Look at the sheer confusion on his face. Had to look up, and I was dying in the arena because on a full, I don't know if you've ever seen the Chase Center video board, folks, but it's massive. And they replayed that thing, and his foot was just a dancing.
Yeah.
And he had to make up for it.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
His feet were set on the next 2 threes. And then the 3s after that.
Did they go in?
Oh, they went in too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
They went in as well. But it was hilarious to see someone just be so confounded by the call and then be like, okay, next time I'm coming off a 3, I'm going to just put it up. I mean, coming off a curl, I'm going to just put it up straight up.
The best Steph is an angry, borderline angry, determined Steph. You know,
that's true.
When he gets his mind into a certain place, it's like it doesn't really much matter who's defending him. And tonight, Patrick Beverley's a pretty good defender. And they had Beverley on him, they had Kelly Oubre on him, they had Daniel House on him. And Steph it didn't matter.
No.
You know, he still went up there and shot his tail off. So this is Steph basically saying, okay, you know, y'all can ride with me, but I'm gonna do my part. And then do some. So tonight he did that. So give him whatever award you give. You know, he's a player of the game because you drop 37 in a game like this. That's big.
And also 5 of 5 in the free throws as well. You know, hitting his free throws, which is huge, which he does. Yeah. I want to ask, the start of the game, those 4 turnovers, do you think that also is another way that he can anger himself into playing better?
Yeah, he knows he has to be better. You know, you can't keep throwing the ball to the other team and they go down and score off of it and expect to win a game.
Yeah.
And they've seen it happen too many times this season where they throw the ball to the other team and the transition buckets the other way. And they've lost a lot of games that way.
Right.
So you don't want to see that. And I think Steph was like, okay, that's done. I'm done with that. Let's play ball now. I'm getting buckets.
I'm getting buckets. I'm going to get buckets from my teammates. I'm going to get buckets off the rebounds. Yeah. He's at the podium, folks. Let's hear what he had to say about tonight's game.
Steph, you guys are clearly going with the Draymond at center, Kuminga, Wiggins unit. What's different about you guys when those guys are playing like this? You know, is it a different feel when those 3 are together?
I think the biggest thing is if we can find a way to not foul, get stops, use obviously the speed at those 3 positions, physicality, athleticism, you know, it makes our offense a little bit easier. We gave up a lot of offensive rebounds in the first quarter, but once we settled that, our offense fed off our defense, and you see JK getting run out layups. You see Wiggs operating in space. Me and Draymond getting into, you know, pick and roll situations. So it just it's if we can play bigger than our size, then it usually, you know, works in our favor. That's just the challenge on a nightly basis, depending on matchups and who we're facing. That all 5 guys are working together defensively.
Kuminga's had stretches and even past seasons where it feels like it has felt like he's coming along, and then it's kind of been a stop-start. What to you feels different about what he's doing this time around in general?
Just clarity on how he can impact the game. Defensive intensity and pressure. Taking what the defense gives him on the offensive end, whether it's, you know, attacking driving lanes, finishing the rim, like I said, getting, you know, transition buckets for us. You're knocking out open shots when he has them. And there's just an element of aggressiveness. You know, you don't want him out there second guessing anything. And for the most part, he's done that really consistently, and it's given him a lot of results, obviously. And, you know, he's out in the 39 minutes. That obviously helps.
There was a play with about 2:30 left where Nick Nurse sends the double at you off of Kuminga. You kind of toss it over to him. He goes, scores. Is that a satisfying kind of moment for you, or a situation where it is a guy like Nurse, who I know you have history with, sending a double and you just kind of get an easy bucket right off that because of what Kuminga's doing in a lot of ways?
Yeah, even without Clay tonight, who's a spacer out here, you have to be aware of where he is. You just, like you said, make the simple play, and something good came out of it, which was nice. And that is, I think maybe, you know, last year or a couple months ago, it might have been a pump fake or, you know, trying to analyze the situation, and then by that time the defense kind of can get reset. Like, whatever the play is, whatever the look is, or the decision he made is the right one, just be aggressive. So it does help to take advantage of advantages like that, and give us great momentum.
All right, Steph.
Take advantages of advantages. I like that. It's very simple. It's to the point, but that's exactly what you have to do. Yeah. I want to talk about this lineup because Clay was out tonight. But when you look at this starting lineup, Andrew Wiggins, 23, off of 10 shots, by the way.
Highly efficient.
Right. We're going to talk about him. Don't you worry, folks. Kuminga, 26. Draymond Green, 9 points, but doing what he does best, 6 rebounds, 6 assists as well. 2 block shots, paint protection. Brandin Podziemski, 11 points. Stephen Curry, 37 points. All of them in the positive and the plus minus.
Yes.
That is an efficient starting lineup, and that is something that the Warriors have not had consistently throughout this year.
Yeah.
you've got to be excited about this, right?
The 16 different starting lineup they put out there this season. That's a lot of lineups you put out there. It tells you that they have been looking for something all this time, all this season. And I think tonight, Podziemski goes in for Clay because Clay comes up ill before the game. And Clay, when he comes back, he'll slide right back into place there, and Pods will go to the bench, and the bench will be better than it was tonight. But I think this lineup gives them good speed. You got 4 guys out there that are 6'7" and they all have 7-foot wingspans. That helps the defense. And Draymond is so good at organizing the defense and getting guys and communicating with guys and making sure things are going the way they're supposed to go. The defense is creeping up, going in the direction they should be going in, because let's admit it, the defense for the last 4 or 5 weeks until the last 2 or 3 games.
Dismal.
Oh my goodness, hard to look at.
It's been
hard to look at. Last in the league.
Yeah.
This month, the Warriors are 30th in defensive rating this month, and now they're starting to creep back up again. And you see that. And of course, you expect that to happen when Draymond comes back. So his impact is all over the way this team is playing tonight. Tough one 3 nights ago now. But yeah, you see now that, okay, this team can actually get to be good again.
Now, Draymond coming back has also done something else beyond improving the defense. It's improved a particular player's game, and this is Andrew Wiggins, or as we're calling him, two-way Wiggs. In the last 5 games, 18 points. This is the Wiggins that the Warriors have been looking for all season. The efficiency, 61.1%. He has been aggressive. He has been poised. And he has been confident in the way that he is demanding the ball. Yeah. You saw him posting up on the block tonight. You saw him taking defenders off with a quick step. And I just loved how hard he was sprinting and cutting in either transition, like here, or through the half court. I really think that something's changed for Wiggins.
On your head.
What are you seeing for him?
He is so engaged right now. I mean, his concentration has reached another level. It's where they were hoping it would be earlier this season. You're seeing it now, and Wiggins is playing at a level now that if he had been playing at this level the entire season, the Warriors wouldn't be in a situation they're in now.
No.
It'd be so much better. But he's playing at a level so high now that if you're the Warriors, you got to ask yourself, do we need to trade him? And if we trade him, what are we getting back? And is what we're getting back going to be better than what he's doing right now?
Right.
So, I mean, maybe 3 weeks ago you think, oh, trade Wiggins, but it doesn't have much value. Now his value goes up, but that means it goes up for them too. It goes up for the Warriors too. So if I'm the Warriors, I'm thinking if Wiggins is going to play like this, I don't think I want to trade him.
I'm going to tell you right now, there is one man in Chase Center that I do not envy, and that is Mike Dunleavy Jr. Now, there was one moment where I was looking at the game, and in transition, you got Andrew Wiggins sprinting full speed on one side of the court. And then on the other side of the court, you had Jonathan Kuminga full speed down the court. And I'm thinking, if I am the Sixers, I am petrified. That is some long athletic bodies coming at you fast. And that was really fun. And it's been really fun to see this duo come together and play off of each other, but allowing that athleticism to thrive.
Yeah, this team has maybe at least three elite athletes. That's 2 of them. I mean, Gary Payton II is also an elite athlete. Anybody who's 6'3" and can block Victor Wembanyama's shot.
Ooh, right.
GP is getting up there. So, but GP's
great
out of the
memory
lineup.
there.
Yeah, he's
great
out of the lineup,
memory.
and we'll be back in maybe in a couple weeks.
Yes.
But JK and Wiggins coming down the hill, one from each side. That's a sight the defense doesn't want to see.
No.
And if you're a point guard, you're like, look at this. Look what I got. Look what I got here.
And JK tonight, I just was so impressed with his aggressive takes to the basket, his just going hard to the block. He had high percentage shots, athletic shots, and he kept finding ways to score over the defense. Whether he was tucking in behind, he was beating them in transition. I just loved how he was just out doing them. Reverse? A reverse?
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Yeah,
They
man.
weren't ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was fun to watch him tonight. And it's
seeing
been
him.
fun to watch him. He's been really improving.
It has. And Steve Kerr was talking to him after the game about how, watching Jonathan play the way he's playing right now, this is what we want to see from him. and he's getting more minutes now. He's playing in the rotation. He's starting games. And the bottom line is that this Kuminga is allowed to make some of the mistakes that the older previous Kuminga could make and still stay on the floor, because they know now that there's fewer of those mistakes. Yep. And now you've got a guy who's going to give you something every single night. This is 7 in a row he scored at least 20 points.
There was a mistake tonight where he fouled, who turned the ball over, wild take to the basket, turned the ball over, turned around and fouled. And I was like, ooh, is this old Kuminga?
Old JK.
What's happening?
Yeah.
What's going on? But he stayed out there and made up for it. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
There is growth here.
Yes.
And you could say that he's rising.
Yes.
And on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about another rising star on the Warriors, of particular AirPods, as some folks on Twitter like to call them. We're going to talk about what he did tonight. Don't go anywhere. It's Dubs Talk Live, presented by Mancini's Sleep World.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Mancini's Sleep World. Visit us during our President's Day sale. Save up to $1,000 on the biggest brands, plus free delivery. Hurry in now or visit us online at sleepworld.com.
Hey, Dan, I need that YouTube link. But you know what? I'm going to go find it myself. Hey, guys. What's up? Hello, YouTube. Big time win tonight.
Yeah.
Big time win. Oh, I found you guys. Let's see what you guys are talking about. That reverse, Adriana, that reverse dunk got me jumping off my couch. Girl, if it was appropriate for me to do that in press row, we would have been right there. We would have been right there.
Hey, Chase went nuts after that, didn't they? This whole
Chase went crazy because he keeps doing this.
Yeah.
Right? And what you love, one of the things that I think has been a theme for the Warriors over the years and why people have fallen in love with them, whether you're a fan or not, they've been entertaining. Steph Curry is an entertainer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And when you think about that Steph and LeBron matchup, it's entertaining. And so you see Joku doing things like that. Entertainment. People in their homes jumping off couches.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
They're still trying to, people still, as a movement, quiet movement, to get JK to enter the slam dunk contest.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think he'd be good for it, but he didn't seem to be too excited about the possibility a few weeks ago, so we'll see.
He once said that he was too old.
What is he, 40 now?
I'm sorry, who? In what world are you too old?
Yeah, really.
For the dunk contest. He might think he has like older knees or something that he actually has, but anywho. Very good game tonight. And I wrote down some of those mistakes that he had made.
Yep.
And you're right. He makes them, he makes up for them, and now he's too valuable to take off.
There you go.
There you go.
It's a good balance now. Before, it's like, oh my God, JK.
I know. All right, guys, going back to the show, folks. All right, today, some really amazing news for the Warriors. One of their rookies got named to the Rising Star game at NBA All-Star that's going to take place in 2 weeks. Brandin Podziemski got his first Panini Rising Star selection. He was the 19th overall pick, of course, out of Santa Clara. A lot of people had some curious thoughts around that pick, and now it is coming to fruition for the Warriors.
Yeah, you watch what he does when he plays, and I've been trying to find a comp for him all season long. Who is he like? And I keep coming back to one guy who's not an all-star, but he is so important to his team, and that's Josh Hart of the New York Knicks.
Ooh, okay.
Josh Hart is a 6'4" guard who gets rebounds, who defends, who gets in the way of the other team's offense, and gets a bucket. Josh is one of those guys that you'll see he'll have 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yep.
And Brandon's the same way. He'll have 11 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yes.
And he does it on a consistent basis. He just does good stuff for the team.
Yeah.
And players like Josh Hart, you look at him and say, well, he's a good player, but he's the kind of player that a coach knows he can put out there and get something good from him.
Yeah.
And BP is the same way. They put him out there because they know when he goes out there, chances of getting something good are pretty high.
And I love his confidence.
It never goes away, does it?
It never goes away. You think about tonight, there were 2 wing shots that Brandin Podziemski missed. And when he had the opportunity to have another wide open kind of above the hash mark 3. Embiid was in front of him.
Yeah.
Okay, but far away, about 10
Yes,
feet away.
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
he could have taken another shot. He had just missed 2, so he was like, goes on Embiid, puts up the baby layup and just scoops it in.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is how you want players,
Yes.
rookies to play.
Yeah.
To have the memory of a goldfish, right? To not
That's right.
remember those 2 plays where you missed those threes and say, okay, I missed those 3, so maybe my shot ain't hitting right now.
Right.
But to not hesitate when the moment says, we don't need a 3, maybe you need to take, a tree is in front of you, right? Embiid is in front of you.
Gigantic.
But
Yeah.
you're crafty. You're savvy. Find a way to get around him. Use your quick first step. And that's what he did all night. I felt like he continued to show confidence, take risky passes or make risky passes,
Right.
make some risky shots, crafty shots around the basket. And it really just shows how much he believes in his game.
Yeah, I mean, tonight, that confidence never goes away, whether he's missing shots. And his 3 ball's not been good lately.
Yeah.
He was 1 of 5 tonight from 3. But he puts his nose in the middle of the action all the time.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
Sometimes
Yep.
he's the smallest guy out there, and he's in the middle of the guys trying to get rebounds and sometimes grabbing those rebounds. And tonight, I think he got a stop on Tobias Harris on one play. Tobias Harris is 6'9".
Yeah, and,
You know.
and he was cooking.
And he was trying to go ahead. He thought, okay, I got a guy I can use now. I'm going to beat this dude.
Right.
And no bucket. You know,
Yeah.
so that's what you get from BP. You know, yeah, he's a rookie. He's going to look like a rookie at times. But at the same time, there will be moments when you say, okay, whoa, that's nice. And
Yeah.
he does that. So he deserves to be in the Rising Stars tournament game because he is one of those guys.
For sure. And I'm going to say, I was thinking of another Knicks player, I mean.
Dante?
Dante.
Yeah.
He
Dante's
gives me
similar.
Dante too.
Yeah, some
but
of that.
I like your analogy better. I do, because I think Dante's a defender.
Yeah.
I think he's a team player. He will
Yep.
play his role, right?
Yep.
But I do appreciate like Josh Hart's ability to find buckets as well.
Yes, he just
right?
does stuff.
Yeah.
No matter what team he's on, Tom Thibodeau loves him because he goes out there and he gives his team some juice every time he goes out there.
Correct.
I mean, when you see Josh Hart getting 12 rebounds, it's like, dude, you're 6'4". And then you see him get 12 points the next day, 14 points, 20 points. Dude, you can't you can shoot. So it's just
Right.
when BP goes out there and scores, gets rebounds, gets assists, it's like, this is why they drafted this kid.
There you go. All right, well, we got to talk. Everything wasn't perfect tonight. It was a win, but there were some things that needed to be cleaned up real quickly. So let's touch quickly. Turnovers. Turnovers were not good. 18 turnovers leading to 19 points. And they just seemed
Look at
silly.
this one.
I mean, a flip pass, a whip. I get you're trying to
Steph.
get JK in transition, but Stephen Curry.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. There was just bobbles, not paying attention, miscues. It felt very discombobulated, particularly in the beginning. And then there were a lot of forced plays.
Yeah.
Why do you think this was happening?
Yeah. It continues to happen at a rate that it shouldn't happen at. And it's like, this team should be beyond all this stuff. I mean, I've heard Steve Kerr say that, okay, Steph and Draymond each get 2 or 3 turnovers a game because they have the ball so much. But when other guys are getting 2 and 3 and 4, you got a problem. Steph went to 5 today. He had 4 in the first half.
In the first half,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so, and some of those passes that Steph threw are like, dude, what are you seeing that nobody else is seeing but the Sixers?
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, and you got to live with some of that because he's Steph.
Yep.
And so he scored 37 points on 17 shots. So who else is going to do that for you?
You know, he also had 7 assists.
Yes, yes.
It helps.
He had more assists than turnovers, which you take that. It ain't Chris Paul numbers, 7 and 5, but still. Boom.
You take that.
Yes.
Exactly. All right. Well, on the other side of this break, we'll see what the Warriors will take into the next game because they got to go one game at a time. All right. And they're going back to Memphis. We all remember Martin Luther King Jr. Day. All right. On the other side of this break, don't go anywhere.
Get George Kittle.
All right. So let's see what some of y'all are saying. You know what? Some people are asking, where is Chris Mullin, Monte?
Chris he had a medical procedure a few weeks ago. He's recovering nicely. We had hoped he'd be back tonight, but again, I don't know exactly when he'll be back, but sometime the next before this week is up, it looks like.
Yes, they're saying he'll be back on Friday.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
So yeah, he's been around. He was actually at one of the games last week.
Oh, yeah.
So he came to win the
He's
game.
missing it.
Yeah.
You can tell he's missing it. Let me see what else. Can't wait for Moody and GP2 to return. More depth and energy off the bench. That's what's exciting, is that they're figuring out particularly the starting lineup situation, and then you come back and add that depth.
Once you get to, if this team gets healthy, I'm telling you, if this team gets healthy, they can get back into the playoff picture pretty easily.
Here we go. All right. Some people said.
And they look so bad sometimes.
I know. I know. Okay, we had one of our GMs in the chat. Ankur. Kojo for Pat Bev, and then Karmar. Imagine Pat Bev and CP3 on the same team.
They're not going to get rid of Pat Bev in Philadelphia right now.
Oh no, he's doing really good.
Yeah, he's in starting lineup.
He's doing well for them. Yeah.
And when when they're fully healthy, he comes off the bench. But he's a valuable bench player. He's a leader on that team, a veteran leader on that team. So I don't see them moving him because Philly's got designs on big things this season.
Agreed. I did want to just give the quick update on Moses Moody. He had that grade 1 strain of his left calf. He was recently reevaluated. He's making great progress. He's been cleared to practice. That's big. And then Chris Paul, he's been cleared to begin light on-court individual workouts with his hand injury. So coming back. All right, we are talking the Warriors look-ahead schedule on Dubs Talk Live, and I think you got to go one game at a time, folks. You can't even, at this point in the season, with what the Warriors have been going, I'm not even looking further than Friday, because last time that the Warriors went up against Memphis, it was their G League team that came and did some damage.
Yeah, no Ja Morant, no Desmond Bain, no Steven Adams. I mean, it was like, who are these guys?
Who are these guys? Making records against the Warriors.
Getting their career high because they never played much before.
Right, 1,000%. You want a team to go into any competition and say, we're going to show up who we are all the time, no matter what. But sometimes when teams come and play the Warriors, they bring a different level.
Yeah.
And sometimes the Warriors don't meet that level.
Memphis and the Warriors have history. So,
They do. So looking, maybe not necessarily for the per game, but looking ahead for the Warriors, do you like this Kuminga, Wiggins lineup moving forward?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stay with it because they play faster. I like the defense, that they're playing better defense now. Now, the only question is, Draymond, you don't want Draymond playing 30 minutes a night at center. But, he can give you a good 12, 16 minutes a night.
Right.
And if you start him there, you get a good start,
a
better start. And this team has had trouble starting games. Now, they look like they figured some things out, and they're starting better. And tonight, they held the team under 30 points in the first quarter.
Look at
Rare.
that. Under 75 at the half. There you go. Warriors win 119-107 against the Philadelphia 76ers. Zena, Keita, Monte, Poole, appreciate y'all tuning in. It's been Dubs Talk Live. Have a great night. All right, folks. Oberyn. Take it one game at a time, because this ain't the championship team. You know what? I appreciate your pragmatism. I appreciate you being real about what because it's not the same team.
Right.
It's not the same roster.
Right.
Things are a little sensitive. All right. Things are a little bit delicate around. So you just got to take it one game at a time.
I'm going to say that this team, I don't see this team winning a championship right now. Because no matter how, this lineup is going to be good, and they can make a decent playoff run. But I don't know. There's so many good teams right now.
There's so many.
Denver, Minnesota, OKC is good now. Phoenix is really good.
Yeah.
So you've got some really good teams up there, and but you know what? You can't count them out because they got Steph. And if Steph and Draymond and Clay are on their games, even at this stage, they're all in their 30s now. That in the playoffs, because they know the playoffs. They know how the playoffs work better than any team out there.
Yes.
And so
And
that's
that
their
counts
edge.
for something.
Yes, it does.
That counts for
That's
something.
how they won in 22. Boston was like new to that. The finals, wow.
Yeah.
Warriors are like, this is our backyard.
Right. Exactly.
Draymond calls it the Warriors Invitational.
Right. Exactly. When you've been that.
Yes.
You've been there.
So
8 years in a row.
Yeah. So they know what
And
it's
then
like.
take a year off, then come back.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. They are very comfortable on that
So they
stage.
just get there.
They just got to get there.
That's right.
Exactly. They got to start running on the road. Yes, they do. Do we have an update on GP2?
GP2 last
not
update was he was still going to be updated or reevaluated in a week and a half, 2 weeks, which
Okay.
is now less maybe 8 to 10 days.
Okay.
So I'm looking for him not to be back though. It's a hamstring.
It's gonna be a while.
So with hamstrings, you don't.
gotta be careful.
You cannot rush him at all.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe after the All-Star break, I'm guessing, because the All-Star break is going to be coming up in just about 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
A little less than that. So.
Ooh, what a homecoming that will be
Yeah.
for GP2. I'll leave it off with this one. Interesting thought by Aloha Milton. Every young player in the league was watching the Warriors win rings all through their teens. Those guys bring it versus the Warriors playing against the
True.
legends of their youth.
True. That's
Aloha
true.
Milton, you want to write a book?
Yeah, that's good.
That was
That's
a
good.
statement.
That's very true.
Playing against the legends of
That's-
their youth.
Yeah, it's very true.
It's very true.
They grow up watching Steph, and everybody
You have
knows.
Steph on your wall, and then you get to guard him?
And then, today they announced the top-selling jerseys in the NBA. Guess
Right.
who's number one?
Steph and
Still
Curry.
number 30. Number one. At 35, almost 36 years old, still the top-selling jersey in this league.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys joining us on Dubs Talk Live. We won't be back until Friday.
That's right.
All right. So enjoy this week
Friday in studio.
in studio. That's right. In studio. That's right. And then Mully's back on Friday.
There we go.
That'll be fun. All right.